I'm honored to be here today, and I tried to put together something when I heard this was a victory event to show you how I became so happy. I'm like a freaking ball of sunshine now, you know? I wasn't always this way, but I wasn't this way. When I was a little boy, I went through a lot of stuff and it made me very miserable, and I went down a very bad path for a long time as a result. As a result of people like Sandy and other people trying to make this a national thing, now I became a ball of sunshine. And I get the honor of traveling around the country trying to advocate for children. I am not your average looking advocate. Most advocates are very non-profity, nice people. I'm a little bit more pushy. I'm a little bit more noisy, and I won't let my voice be ignored. I don't like kids being raped. It pisses me off, and that's why I'm in freaking Spokane, Washington today, of all places in the world. And I'm just so excited that this is getting bigger and better, and I get the opportunity to go out and rescue more children and save more children, and make the bad guys start to finally fear. There's enough of us good guys around. They're going to start to think twice before they do these awful things. So for me, I grew up in the Bronx and had very neglectful parents. Like a lot of abuse victims, I just wandered the streets looking for a place to fit in. I would go anywhere they would let me hang out. And I ended up at a neighbor's house. Now this neighbor would let me hang out, and he would see that nobody loved me. He knew nobody cared about me. He saw that as an opportunity to groom me and fill that gap. These evil people that rape children see that, and they make the kids think it's their fault. So I would hang out there all the time, and everybody would be drinking and getting high and fooling around, but they accepted me in. So having these neglectful, unloving parents, when I went there and they made me feel comfortable, I would keep going back. After I was there for a while, one of the guys there started to fondle me. Now, being a little boy that no one's ever loved, no one's ever cared about, I didn't know this was wrong. I didn't know this was bad. I didn't know what it was. I knew they let me come over. I knew they always had cookies. I knew that they said I fit in, so I kept going. After a couple of years, one day I was up on the porch, and I fell down, and I fell into a cactus, and I got the spines in my pants. And now I went to Catholic school. In Catholic school in the Bronx, you had to wear a uniform and rip my pants. And I said, oh my God, I'm in so much trouble. Sister Alice is going to kill me. My mom's going to be so mad at me. And he said, you know what, Mike? Your mom's right. You're a bad kid. Look what you did to your pants. Good, but I'm going to fix it for you. So he took me into the bathtub. I followed him in, took off my clothes. I went into the bathtub, and he climbed in after me, and he raped me for the first time. I was 7, 8 years old. I was a little boy. And for me, I knew I didn't like it, but he told me the same thing everybody else told me. I'm doing this to you, Mikey, because you're a bad kid. You deserve this. And you know what? My mother, my father, the teachers, the principals, everybody always told me I was a bad kid. So when this guy told me this, I believed him. I believed him. Well, they're not going to believe him. I knew I didn't like the rapes, but I knew they kept letting me come over. I knew it was a place to be accepted. And I didn't know it was wrong. Unlike our children today that we teach them about good touches and bad touches, I had no idea. I was told to listen to people. Be a good kid and never rat. So for me, when this dirtbag did this to me, I didn't know it was wrong. I decided I was going to take what happened to me and keep it inside. I was going to stuff it down so deep that it could never hurt me or anybody else in any way. And like we all know, it's not the way it works out. I started acting out in school. I was knocking kids out. I was getting in trouble. I was cutting school. I was doing all types of bad stuff all the time. No one ever thought to ask, why is little Mikey always in trouble? Why is little Mikey always getting locked up? What's going on? All they did was continue to tell me I was a bad kid, and the teachers would hit me. Then every day when I went home, I would get raped. It got to a point where my mother didn't want to watch me, so I'd go over there all the time. The worst part of the whole thing was the anticipation. All day long at school, while other kids were worried about whether they're going to play with G.I. Joes or go to Little League, I was thinking about what awful thing he was going to do to me next. And I would go home, and I thought that life was a series of bad breaks. So I would just go home, I would take it, I would go draw my underwear out because they'd be covered in blood, go hide my pants because they'd be covered in blood and dirt and other stuff. And then I'd go home and my mother would smack me around because I had no underwear. So it was a constant cycle of getting in trouble and getting raped and being full of shame and guilt and trying to keep this thing to myself, and it kept pouring out in all these other terrible ways. After a while, I started getting a little bit older. And I decided that I was going to try to hide. So one day I came home and I snuck around the back of the house, and all the houses in the Bronx are connected. So I went through the middle and I went in my basement and I hid in the basement. And I was in a closet and I was hiding. And I heard him come up and he knocks on the door. And he says, "Ann, I'm here to get Mike." And I'm hiding, and I'm terrified, and I'm shaking, and you gotta think about it, it's a little boy, terrified. And they're walking around the house, and they say, "Mikey, get out here. Where are you? This is why nobody loves you. You won't come out. This is why nobody wants to play with you. This is why we don't love you." And then my mother's telling this dirtbag, "He's so lucky to have you. I don't know why you keep coming back." My mother's yelling at me, "You better come out and do what he says, or you're in big trouble." And eventually he left. I thought, "Oh, I beat him. Thank goodness." In my little boy brain, I thought I beat him. So I went upstairs, and my mother smacked me. "What? Where were you? He was here to get you." I said, "Mom, you don't understand." I looked around, and my sister was gone. I said, "Mom, where's Megan?" She says, "Well, he took her next door." I said, "Mom, how could you let her do that? You don't know what happens over there." So I ran down the stairs, I ran upstairs, I went to the house, and he had her naked in the room already. And I had to run in there and say, "Stop, stop, don't do it to her. Just do it to me. I won't fight back no more, I won't hide no more, I promise." And at 10 years old, I was made to trade my life for my sister's life. I had to make this horrible decision because this guy groomed himself and manipulated himself into my life where my parents were telling me to do what he said to do. So I rescued my sister, I dressed her, I brought her home, I went back, I never fought back again. I never fought back again. And I tell you that to show you how evil of an enemy we're fighting against here. That's why I refuse to be a nice person in this fight. I don't care about the rapist's feelings or their recovery or their treatment or any of that stuff, you know. I'm all victim-based. Victim-based, I worry about the little kid who's getting raped in Spokane, Washington right now as we're talking. Right now, there's a little Mikey, there's a little Cindy hiding in a closet in their basement waiting for their dad to come home. Some little kid's going to be tortured today. And it's going to take people like us to get pissed off enough about it to do something about it. To take it out of the closets. It's an absolute national epidemic that's destroying this country. If it's 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys, it's a lot more than that because people don't talk about it. I didn't talk about it until I was 29 years old. For me, after that day, I never fought back. We estimate I was raped somewhere between 600 and 700 times during those years. And as a little boy, you're supposed to be a tough guy, guinea from the Bronx, you're not supposed to tell on people. So I kept it to myself, and it kept getting worse and kept getting worse. Until one day, I got great news. He was killed in a drug deal gone badly. And I said, "Woo, hey." As a little kid, the person who was torturing me for years was finally gone. And I was relieved. See, the worst part about that is a little kid who don't know nothing, I thought it was over. I said, "Oh, good, it's over." It was just beginning. I was broken. I was destroyed inside. I was ruined, and you know what? I wanted everybody to feel as bad as I felt. I wanted to destroy everybody in my path. I figured if I kept this thing inside me, it wasn't going to hurt me, but I was so wrong. One day, when I was 12 years old, a police officer came to school with the DARE program. And he held up a bag of cocaine. He said, "Whatever you do, kid, don't do this. Because if you do drugs, it's going to make you feel different." I said, "Oh, jeez, I don't like the way I feel now." So I took a subway train down to the South Bronx. I found some junkie. And I said, "Hey, I'll give you $10 if you find me a bag of coke." And the junkie told me, "Hey, kid," he goes, "don't do this because it'll ruin your life." And I said, I'll give you $20. He said, "Oh, cool, follow me." And I followed the junkie into a basement of a building. I got my first bag, and I was off to the races. I was in active addiction for 16 years. It absolutely destroyed my life. But for me, I was able to pick when my pain started and when my pain ended. I didn't like doing drugs, but for what I thought, I was in control for the first time. After all the years of rape and torture and fear, I was finally thought I was a tough guy, and I was in control. the drugs took over my life. Destroyed school. I was in and out of the Army, in and out of jail. I've been on Rikers Island 11 times, and I've done 2 years in federal prison. I started getting tattoos by biker clubs and making all types of bad choices. My life was in shambles, all because of something that wasn't my fault. All because of something that was festering inside me and killing me, destroying me forever. After a while, I ended up being homeless. I was living on rooftops, I was living in basements, I was living on the 6th train. I would ride the train from Brooklyn to the Bronx, back to Brooklyn, go back and forth like crazy. It was completely out of control. Until one point, one day I woke up on the train, and the conductor said, "You know what? We're at 125th Street, and there's a rehab down there. Why don't you give it a shot?" And I said, "You know what? I'm tired of being wet. I'm tired of being cold. I'm tired of being sick. I'm tired of disappointing myself. Let me give it a shot." So I went down, and I went to a rehab. Now, every time I got 30 days clean, every time I started to feel good and people started telling me they loved me, that was such a foreign, horrible, terrible thing to me that I would relapse. I'd run back out. I would do a score. I would get locked up because I got high. Eventually, I realized that I was allergic to drugs because every time I did drugs, I broke out in handcuffs. Yeah. Every time. Every time. Like all allergies, they don't go away. But you got to change something. So I kept going back and forth to rehab, and every time I relapsed, they would kick my butt. I went to long-term therapeutic life modification, where they kick your butt and break you down. And they don't do that no more in rehab. Now they're like, "I'm so sorry, you smoke crack," you know. But back then, they kicked the hell out of me, and thank goodness they did. So the last time I relapsed, I called. I split. I got high. My allergy kicked in. I went back to jail again. And I called this great woman named Chriselle Benjamin, who was my counselor. And she told me, "Mikey, when are you going to love yourself as much as I love you?" And I said, "You know what? If this strange woman from Brooklyn, who doesn't even know me, is willing to love me, maybe there's a slight chance I'm not a dirtbag. Maybe my mother was wrong. Maybe the cops were wrong. Maybe my rapist was wrong. Maybe I'm not a bad kid. Maybe I don't have to continue to prove everybody right. Maybe I don't have to continue to be a failure." I never liked jail. I just kept going there because I'm on a freaking drug addict. So I surrendered. I picked a friend in treatment, and me and my friend Frankie started to hold each other accountable. I would say, anytime Frankie did something stupid, I would tell on him. Anytime I did something stupid, he'd tell on me. Because I had to learn how to tell on myself and talk about my feelings. Anytime Frankie stole like a piece of cake, I'd be, "Ooh, Frankie stole cake," and he'd get in trouble. Or if I didn't make my bed, Frankie would tell on me, and I'd say, "Frank, shut up." I mean, no, this is what we got to do. And I started to surrender. I started to follow the rules. They started calling me a daytop robot because I followed all the rules. But I didn't know another way. You know, when I was a gangster and I was a drug addict, I wake up dope sick with no money, come back with a bundle and $100 and high. So I needed to take that same motivation and put it towards my recovery, towards my happiness. So last time I relapsed was 13 years ago. March 2nd, I celebrated 13 years clean. Thank you. Now for me, I had to start telling myself. So I started telling people when I wanted to get high. I grabbed a lady in the subway one day and said, "Hey, lady, I feel like smoking crack." And she went, "Oh my God, no, God, don't smoke crack, it's bad." And she went home with an incredible story to tell her family. But you know what happened that day? I didn't get high. I said, look at this. There's tools out there for me to feel better. So as I'm about to leave treatment, Chriselle says to me one day, her and another counselor, Larry Perulli, got to me and said, "Mike, there's something so evil inside your belly. There's something so bad and nasty festering in there for such a long time. Until you get it out, you're never going to stay clean. So your choices are to tell us what happened or just get high and die." Now, I've got 3 overdoses where I've died. My last overdose, 13 and a half years ago, I could see the paramedics working on me. And I'm on the gurney, and they're wheeling me out, and I'm saying, "Just get off me. Get off me and go." Because living as a victim of child sexual abuse for all those years, I just wanted to die. I wanted to end. I wanted to go. My plan was to go to hell and fist bump the devil and go chase child molesters around. But that wasn't the plan for me. So I lived through that. I told Chriselle, I told Larry, I was molested when I was a little boy. I felt a little bit better. That night we had a bonfire, and I wrote it on a piece of paper and threw it in the fire. And that was the beginning of me becoming a freaking ball of sunshine. Yeah. I started to feel better. I left treatment. I got a job. I worked my butt off. I started working harder. I still hadn't done any intensive work on my sexual abuse, but like the great people before me are offering to people. So I got married. I started having kids. I got 3 beautiful little girls. You know they're beautiful. They look just like me. That wasn't a joke. And, well, I'll tell you, my daughter one day woke me up. She said, Daddy, get up. I said, what's wrong, baby? She says, I'm so sorry you're not beautiful. Oh, what are you talking about? What do you mean? She goes, you don't got no hair. She goes, I got hair. I'm beautiful. I'll go back to sleep. I can't go back. I'm freaking traumatized over here now. I can't go back to sleep. Are you nuts? So me and my wife started having kids, and when my oldest got to the age that I was when I was molested, I started freaking out. People go near my kids, I'm looking to knock them out. I'm throwing people out of the mall. My wife's like, why'd you throw that guy out? I was like, well, he was looking at the girls. Well, no, he was sweeping, you know. She dropped the cheese. He was cleaning it up. I was like, okay, I'm sorry, sir. You can come back inside. So for me, I'm losing my mind here, and a lot of the stuff I'm doing is violent. And I'm starting to act, I'm making the mailman walk around. I'm not letting people walk past the house. I'm terrified. I'm terrified when I'm with them, but I know I can watch them. But now they're getting to the age I got to send them to school and stuff. And I'm confronting people like out of control. So I made a call to the Cleveland Rape Crisis Center hotline. And I went into treatment. Talked to a wonderful volunteer who reminded me a lot of Chriselle, and she let me in. And I went for 12 weeks of individual counseling, 12 weeks of group counseling. And I started to find my voice. I started to be happy. And one weekend, we were having Michael Reagan as a speaker for us. And Michael Reagan said a bunch of anti-gay and lesbian stuff on the radio, so we had to fire him. It was 4 days before the event, and we had no speaker. And they were terrified. What are we going to do? Who's going to speak? And I said, well, I'll do it. They said, what do you mean you'll do it? I said, well, I'm from New York. I love to talk. How hard could it be? And I did it, and we raised $433,000 that day. It was amazing. Yep. And I said, oh, my goodness. After I talked, dozens of people had come forward and said, you know what, Mike, me too. So look at this. When I tell people I was abused, other people come forward. And then we lock up bad guys who can't rape more people. So this is a wonderful thing. You see, my entire life, I always wanted to know why. Why? If there's a God, if there's any good in the world, how could I be allowed to be raped for so many years? How could I have to live with such evil for such a long time? And I found out why. And one day, I was sharing, and a little girl came forward and says, Grandpa comes in bed with me all the time. And I said, baby girl, I said, thank you so much for trusting me. I love you. I said, I promise you it's over. And I told the cops, I said, hey, I said, you're going to get him? I said, well, I'm going to get him. Somebody's going to get this guy. And based on my criminal past, they believed me, and they went to go get him. And it was fantastic. I've now done hundreds of speeches all over the world, and my life is absolutely beautiful. I'm determined to keep doing this, pushing around the bad guys, and letting them know that we're not going to stand for this stuff no more. This is over. I don't care if it's a Catholic church, if it's a Boy Scout, if it's an Indian reservation. If you're raping kids, we're coming for you. We're going to use our voices, we're going to make noise, and we're going to make them very uncomfortable. I just got an outstanding phone call from an attorney in Chicago who actually refused to represent a child rapist because he was afraid of the backlash from my group. So, they're fantastic. Good. You should get some public defender or something else. I got approached by another group that says, well, you know what? That's not fair. I said, well, he doesn't like the way he's being treated? He said, no. I said, well, then stop raping kids and we'll leave you alone. It's a simple thing. Well, we don't care about their feelings at all. So with that, guys, some of the slides I decided to bring here with me today are to show you some of the fantastic things. See, what I've done is I've taken the most horrible thing that ever happened to me, could happen to anybody, and I've turned it into joy, and I've turned it into happiness, and I've turned it into helping other people. For me, those are my girls. I told you, they look just like me. And they're just a ball of sunshine. You know, they are absolutely amazing. One of my favorite things I've been able to do with all the hurt and the pain is flip it over. You know, I'm still a little pissed. I'm still a little angry, but I use that as fuel. See, what I used to use it as fuel to hurt people and get high and do bad things, now I use it as fuel to be awesome and powerful and to protect children. Where most advocates are very college educated and they love everybody, I'm not. I'm just a rape victim who wants less kids raped now. It's a very simple mission. I want less kids raped, and for the kids who've been raped already, I want resources to be there to treat them when I get them to come forward. And that's why I speak to professionals. Everywhere I go, I speak to counselors, I speak to police officers, I speak to lots of teachers, and I tell them, if you got a little kid who's acting up, you got a little kid who you think is a jerk in your head, you're wrong. You need to ask them, what's going on? Who is hurting you? We know you're in pain and something's wrong. You're not a bad kid. And I hope that they take my message and they spread it out to every single person they meet, every single client. So my voice, your voice, could be 1,000 more times more powerful. Uh-oh, did I break it? Thank goodness for Cindy. Oh, you gotta move it probably. There we go. Let's get rid of that first. Oh boy. Oh, there we go. I fixed it. I'm a genius. We didn't need you anyway. Get out of here. All right. One of my favorite things to do is I have a contract with the state of Ohio, and I speak at all the DYSs, Department of Youth Service jails. And you can see these kids here. They're just ordinary kids. They could be your nephews, your kids, the kids on your street, but they're all doing serious time in a prison. And they're doing that because they're traumatized. I went to jail because I was traumatized. My second day, well, let me back up. When I got to prison, one of the guards, I was in fulls, I was in the back of a van, and the guard was hysterical laughing. I said, what's so funny? And he says, today's the day you find out if you're a tough guy, because the tough guys are in here. My second day in prison, I was attacked. During the fight, the guy lost his life, and I caught a manslaughter charge. As a result of my childhood rape, I did crime, went to jail, somebody lost their life, now I'm on jail. I'm on trial to lose my life. I beat it because it was self-defense, but it shows you how deep that childhood abuse goes. Not only did I get raped, other people died, and I almost lost my life to the prison system. And that's what I tell these kids now, is that you have other opportunities. You don't have to keep going down this path. Whatever's hurting you, no matter how bad it is, whether it's as bad as what happened to me, worse, in the middle, you got to get it out. You got to get it out. Everything you need to be awesome is inside you. It's just covered up in all types of crap. You take the crap, you move it out of the way. You got to be woman enough or man enough to reach in there and grab what you need and take it out and say, you know what? Yes, I was raped. I was raped hundreds and hundreds of times, but I'm not shaking. I'm not crying. And I don't care who knows about it. I don't whisper about it. I use the word rape. I don't use molested or fondled or touched or all these other stupid words that the legal system wants to use. I was brutally raped by a lunatic for a long time. And as a result, other kids are not going to get raped now. One of my favorite things in the whole world is Project Stop. Project Stop is an educational program I'm on the board of directors for. Project Stop is a body awareness training that we give to every third grader in Ohio. It's about good touches and bad touches, and it teaches them that the stranger is not a stranger. When they say stranger danger, that's stupid. Most strangers will help you. The enemy is inside the house. It's the dirty stepfather. It's the janitor at school. It's the swim coach. It's the neighbor who's always looking to help out with the kids. We have to confront everybody, and that's what my program does. It teaches third graders how to react. We have a doll, and the kids get to practice saying, no, don't touch me. And it's amazing, because every time we do the program, a kid comes up and goes, yeah, Uncle Joey does that all the time. Not even knowing it's wrong. Because unless we tell them, like, we want to tell the kids, don't touch the stove because it's hot. But we don't want to tell them, don't touch a penis. How are they going to know unless we tell them? So what we do is we go into schools, I meet with the curriculum director, we meet with the principals, we get them to make it part of the curriculum. I've gotten it mandated into 33 counties of Ohio now. There's 88 counties altogether. If they won't talk to me, what I do is I call a meeting with the PTA. And I tell the PTA, the principal does not care if your kids get raped. Oh, Next day, I get a phone call from the principal. Yeah. Yep. There's 55 women outside banging down my door. Oh, then now you want to talk, huh? Well, last week you didn't want to talk. So now it's $1,000. Yeah. And what we do is we sell the program to the schools, and they use it to educate the kids, and then it comes full circle. We use the money to make more programs. We make a video, a doll, and I travel all over the place trying to get people to use it. And it came full circle for me because my daughter is in 3rd grade, and she just got the program, and she watched it. So as a result of my abuse, I got happy. I got this program in there, and my daughter got taught. And I know it works because a couple weeks ago, we went to an art museum. And we were walking around the art museum, and she's yelling, penis, 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 penis. Because I taught her, in the program she's taught, if you see a penis, tell daddy right away. And it's more in line for like the bus drivers, not the art museum. But I know she got the message. So as we're walking around, she's yelling, penis, penis. Some art guy walks up. He's like, little girl, are you okay? She said, are you the guy in charge? He says, no. She goes, go get me the guy in charge. Comes back with some real fancy guy. And the guy says, little girl, can I help you? She says, yup, you did a great job here. We love your museum, but you went a little bit overboard with the yucky stuff. She says, you a little bit out of control. So the guy says, what do you want me to do? She goes, go put a diaper on him. He says, we don't have no diapers. She takes him by the hand, walks him around the corner. There's a crucifix. She goes, Jesus had the diaper on. Why don't you take one of those and put them on everybody, because this place is disgusting. But she got the message, because you know what? When she's at school one day and the swim coach takes off his pants, she's going to have the same reaction. You know, we're real quick to ask people if there's artificial coloring or dairy in the food, but we don't want to ask if the janitor rapes kids. Does the bus driver rape kids? I asked my daughter's karate coach, hey, do you rape kids? He's like, oh, God, no, I don't. So, oh, if you don't worry about it. You don't worry about it. But if you do, we got something for you. Yeah. A couple years later, I talked to the guy again, and he said, what were you going to do if I said yes? I said, well, you're a freaking karate coach. I'm not going to fight you. I'll hit you with the car or something. You know? There's a way to be evil. I'm smart. That might be a little crazy, but I'm not stupid. For my girls now, I know that they're educated, unlike any of us were. Because back then, they didn't teach us about this stuff. Told her to be quiet. My daughters talk about everything all the time. We were at the zoo one day, and a guy smacked his kid. And my daughter's like, Daddy, there's no hitting. So I told her, what are you doing? And the guy says, well, he pissed me off. I said, well, you pissed me off. Can I hit you? He's like, no. And my daughter says, it's not very nice to hit people, to the guy. Good. So now they're learning. We're changing society. We're changing the way people think. We're changing them. We're going to teach them to be ready for these guys. Because you know what? These dirtbag child molesters look for the weak kid. Look for the kid with no father. Look for the kid that nobody loves. And if we all prepare our children and we talk to our kids about it, talk to our grandkids and talk to the masses about it, there'll be less victims. Like my friend over here, I've lost some weight too. Not quite as much, about 50 pounds. This is an event called Take Back the Run. We just had 2 women that were beaten and raped while they were running. So we had an event called Take Back the Run. And what we did was we had a safe zone. Come run with us, you'll be okay. And we raised a bunch of money for them. I find myself on the news all the time now, you know, and it doesn't say wanted dead or alive, or, you know, be careful, he may be armed, or any of the stuff it used to say, you know. It's all good stuff now, and it's amazing to see how far this thing is coming. See, I lost weight because one day I was laying in bed and I couldn't see the TV over my belly. And I was like, oh, crap. I got to lose weight or move the TV up. And I'm not a very good carpenter, so I had to lose weight. Otherwise, I had to stop watching Law & Order. It never would happen. This is my favorite thing. I got lots of favorite things. This is my favorite thing in the world. We have a SANE unit in Cleveland, Ohio. It's sexual assault nurse examiners. Anytime a child or a woman is raped, we have to collect their clothing for evidence. And I found that all the nurses were spending their own money buying new clothes for these kids to go home in. And buying them one or two sets at a time. And, you know, just loving, caring people. So I decided that I didn't want that problem to exist anymore. The same way I decided I don't want little kids getting raped anymore. So what I did was I went to Sears, and I asked the guy, hey, how you feel about kids getting raped? He said, oh, God, it's awful. I said, oh, cool, then you got to help me out. Come on. I got him to donate 16,000 pairs of pants, 16,000 pairs of panties, bras, underwears, everything we needed. So, and now it's every 90 days because the same unit needs furniture now. So me and my daughters went in there and we said, listen, we need a couch. And the guy says, I can't give you a couch. A couch is a couple $1,000s. At that moment, my daughter runs across the couch and goes, that one's got footprints all over it. I said, whoa, good girl. I said, she's like, I know this is one of those things we can't tell mommy about. I was like, yeah, no, we're getting ice cream after this. Don't worry about it. And you know what happened? The guy gave us a couch. But he made me promise I can't come back for 90 days. So we go back every 91 days now. So as a result of me being raped as a kid and people like you loving me until I was able to love myself, now no child that's sexually assaulted in Cleveland, Ohio will ever have to go home in scrubs or dirty sweatpants ever again. Because we have brand new, beautiful clothes waiting for them. And show you that great things can come from evil. That's right. One of the most important things I was just sharing with my buddy is that I got to stay well. While I'm traveling the country doing this stuff and while you guys are advocating and trying to help others, you got to stay well. You have to have a good plan in your head. I go for hypnotherapy, I go for treatment, and I run. I run a lot. I run marathons for sexually abused children. Last 2 years, I raised about 18 grand. And what I do is I run, have people sponsor miles. And last year, I got heat stroke. And halfway through it, I'm about to pass out and thinking about those kids. I'm thinking, well, I can't stop. You know, I'll just drop dead and pull myself by my lips until I get to the end of it. But one way or another, I'm going to finish because little Susie and little Mikey and little Billy are being abused. And when they get, if they don't die, if they don't become addicted, if they don't eat themselves to death, if they don't end up just being lost and sad forever, they're going to need some help. And we got to make sure that that help is available for them. So one of the things that's really great about running is that I wear a jersey, and on the jersey had signatures. And I think I had Sandy's name on my jersey last year. Yeah. I put names of sexual abuse victims, both alive and dead, on my shirt before I run. I carry their courage with me through the streets. So no matter how hard it gets or how easy it gets and how hot or how cold I am, I keep going. I keep going for you guys. I keep going for myself. For me, this year, I'm running a 24-hour race. It's from 8 in the morning to 8 in the morning. I'm going to do somewhere between 75 and 100 miles or drop dead somewhere in the middle. But that's the cherry on top for me because everybody always told me I was going to be a failure. Everybody always told me I was going to be a loser. So to all those people now I say, yeah. So everything you need to be great, guys, you got it already. I got it already, and that's what we're all doing here today. So I really appreciate you guys being here today. Thank you so much for letting me share.